All right, before we get started with this crime video, we're going to talk about some of the crime going on, some news going on. Channel 12, which did a good job yesterday, but was back to their usual South Shore favoritism today. It's just the middle. We continue to deal with the, just the neglect going on. Businesses closing. The rats are back. We had the power issue last night. Somebody said it was due to low-hanging wires. One of the trucks, probably for the Long Island Railroad, hit one of a three-phase line. But look at the way the power line's looking, Mineola. It's not at all a surprise. When you look at our infrastructure, Floral Park in the same boat. Every town that is diverse is having these problems, while the whitest towns continue to get taken care of. Rockville Center is no exception to that. There are a certain demographic of people there, white finance professionals, and they get the favoritism. They get the investment. They get taken care of. It's unfortunate. I prefer to live in a diverse community, but the sad reality of it is you've got to live in a lily white community if you want to have a good quality life on Long Island. But those areas are very coveted, and you have to be a certain demographic making lots of money on Wall Street to afford the rents and the cost of living there, and it's not fair. That's how they push us out, as you know. It's always pleasant walking along the South Shore, it's a pleasant place to go. Everybody wants to be there, while the middle of the island is just kind of languishes, But let's see what's going on. Yeah, so while the life on the South Shore is all peaches and cream, and you can see everybody there. It was supposed to have been a PTA meeting. I was just taking a walk. Everybody's just... There's not a single person of color there. Everybody is white. Everybody is white. Everybody. And some of the people are really dressed up, too. Meanwhile, the reality is, when I'm riding the bus going back to Hempstead on the N15, going down Clinton Street, we see this. And, well, something happened. There's been another shooting in Hempstead. Heavy police activity in Hempstead. Police closed off multiple areas in Hempstead after suspects fired bullets at police. No police officers were injured. So fortunately, no one was injured. This happened at Ormond Street, Lincoln Boulevard, and the vicinity is closed. Multiple suspects are in custody, and more suspects are being looked for right now. Chopper and K9 have joined the investigation. A few days earlier, you're not going to gun show, so far, no effects. And Laura Uhle covers all this stuff with the crime, but there's nothing at all in the news about this, and this barely got covered too. Hit and run involving a pedestrian dead in Franklin Square. NCPD reports a pedestrian struck by a hit and run has died of his injuries. The incident was reported last night, 1:30 a.m., Franklin Avenue and Polk Avenue, Oaks Drive in Franklin Square. The female, 37, was lying down face down after being struck by a 2005 Infiniti silver sedan. The driver left the scene. The female died around 7:30 a.m. at the local hospital. Police identified the driver, male, 20, of Franklin Square, who was operating with a suspended license. He's charged with leaving the scene of an incident death and aggravated unlicensed operation at third degree. So there you go. More, and look at all these crimes going on. 51 people mugged in the city. The city is out of control. Meanwhile, the governor, she extended her executive order now to July 14th. This woman is just completely nuts. And so that's still including a mask mandate on public transportation. The only state in the country now to have a mask mandate, I believe. We also have more bad news about a supermarket closing on Hillside Avenue. A whole bunch of supermarkets closing. Every single one of them is in the middle of the island or on the North Shore. The South Shore gets away completely unscathed from these supermarket closings. So the Food Town on Hillside Avenue by Herrick's Road is closing, and the King Kullen is closing 2 locations in Nassau County. She is claiming that King Kullen Garden City closed a while back. The Garden City Park one did not close. It's still open. But again, nothing on News 12 about the shooting. Let's go to News 12 right now and see if there's anything about the shooting on Channel 12. Because once again, yesterday they did such a great job, but today they're gearing to the South Shore again, all over the place. I mean, seriously, they're in their own world down there, you know? Oh, now they're going to pick on Stu Leonard. I like Stu Leonard's. All right, well, let's get to Channel 12 and see what they're talking about, because they were all over the South Shore again. drove car into Patchogue Bay. That's, again, if it happened in the North Shore, they probably wouldn't have covered it. All right, this really gets on my nerves, and they actually spent this to trying to really advertise this new mini service for Nice Bus. Why the hell does it get on the South Shore? That's favoritism right there, all right? When they could be restoring service like the N27 on the weekends. Well, why don't they roll it out in the middle of the island? No, it's all about the South Shore. Listen to this story because you're going to be sick.
White of Freeport says it's a pain standing at the bus stop for a ride to doctor appointments and to run errands several times a week.
I'm disabled, and sometimes it's hard, with getting on the bus and stuff, and they don't run like they used to.
Yeah, because Nice cut service.
Constantly changing.
But now, traveling by bus on Nassau's South Shore is as easy as ordering an Uber. Nice Bus rolled out an on-demand shared ride door-to-door service
all geared to these
using smaller vehicles.
This is called Nice Mini. It's a first last mile ride share solution, so you can download an app and hail a ride. We'll come pick you up right now, or if you want to schedule a ride for later in the day,
there are all the white people.
Pick you up at the time.
Jonathan Feldman says Nice Mini is designed to make public transportation easier and more efficient.
So why don't you help us in the middle of the island?
50 to 60,000 passengers on our fixed route network, but there's still many parts of Nassau County that don't have enough or any transit service. And so
like Plainview, which is where the Mini should have been rolled out. You should have had the Mini. This is where you should have had the Mini. I'll tell you where you should have had the Mini. Instead of the South Shore, where you have the N4, it's not that far away from the Mini area. I mean, it's a 10-minute walk or a 10 to 15-minute walk from Atlantic Avenue to Merrick Road at most, all right, to get the N4. Meanwhile, in Plainview, in this area here, right here, where the ShopRite is, there's no bus service. It's a half-an-hour walk at least, all right? You could have had something from here to Syosset. This is where the Mini should have run, between Hicksville and Syosset, and maybe even Oyster Bay, too. All right? But no. You have to have it on the South Shore because it's obvious the county executive is behind this. Unfortunately, Bruce Blakeman, you're favoring the South Shore just like everybody else. We're tired of it. We'll play the rest of the story.
This is really a way to fill that gap and put in a service that is customized.
The Nice Mini seats 18 people, is wheelchair accessible, and Nice says, unlike Uber and Lyft...
Wait a minute, aren't you supposed to be wearing a mask on public transportation?
There is no surge pricing. It costs $2.75 to ride the bus, regardless of the time of day.
That would be good, if they come to me.
Lloyd Lindbergh of Freeport says at $2.75, it's a bargain to take a Nice Mini compared to driving, especially with today's sky-high gas prices. The service runs between Merrick and Lynbrook along the Atlantic Avenue corridor.
Yeah, Merrick.
White says the Nice Mini will make a big difference in getting around.
This service will be a great
She's one of the lucky
In
disabled
Freeport,
people, but she
Virginia
probably was in
Huey,
Freeport.
News 12, Long Island.
And the
Nice minibus
Freeport
service
than
is
Neola.
free of charge for the month of June. For more information, head to our website, news12.com. Click on numbers and...
It's all about the South Shore. I mean, I'm still really peeved, that they covered that. I'm peeved that they covered that. Let's go to the news here. We're going to go back because yesterday they actually did cover some crime going on. And we're going to talk about that. We got to go back. They actually did a good job yesterday. But I got to go way back in here. Actually covered... Yeah, this... All right, they didn't do such a good job with this story here. I can't even find this in Daily Voice. Suffolk Transportation. This only got 15 seconds. I don't know if this involved the transit buses. 11 catalytic converters stolen from the buses at the Suffolk County Yard. Pond Yard in Ronkonkoma. Well, it's the middle of the island. Police say nearly a dozen catalytic converters were stolen. It's funny how this never happens on the South Shore, right? Were stolen from buses in Suffolk County. Police say the thefts occurred sometime between Saturday and Monday at a Suffolk Transportation bus yard in Ronkonkoma. And we don't know if these were transit buses. I don't know if they were transit buses. I imagine it's pretty hard to steal one off a transit bus. They were probably school buses. But still, I mean, now they're attacking bus yards. They need to up the security in these bus yards. I knew it was only a matter of time before that. But again, they didn't cover that. They didn't do such a good job covering that. They did cover some other stuff in the middle of the island, and of course, I'm trying to find it on the website. But they actually did a good. The new normal, please. I don't want to see that. They did actually cover some crime. All right. Yeah, they covered this. They covered this crime here. 2 minutes and 43 seconds.
Charged with
A Brooklyn
stabbing.
man was arrested in a fatal stabbing inside Shirley. Now, Shirley is sort of on the South Shore, but it's far from an enclave. Again, it's not a lily white area, so it's not going to get the treatment that the lily white areas get.
His
It's going to be dealing with the
grandfather to
crime.
death inside their home. News 12's crime reporter
And this
Chris
is sickening.
McNally speaking exclusively with a sister after the tragedy. Joining us now from outside the courthouse in Central Islip. Krista.
Good evening, Doug. That's right. Christopher Clark was just arraigned here in Central Islip, and he denied killing his grandfather. He is being accused of stabbing him to death, allegedly striking him 9 times. Now, we saw Clark just before he was arraigned, and he was smiling from ear to ear, proclaiming to be a higher power.
Seriously mental
I
ill.
love the Most High, and I'm Jesus Christ.
34-year-old Christopher Clark allegedly stabbed his grandfather to death in his Shirley home, according to police.
I was in here when it happened. I was
Another
in my
classic
bedroom when
example
it
of
happened, so I didn't
dangerous
even know
people
what was
being
going
on the
Kim
streets.
says 80-year-old John Pilgrim is her uncle, and she is the one who found him dead in his room.
He's laying on his bed, and the covers is over him. So I'm screaming his name, and he's not moving, and I go up to him, and I see the blood on the wall, and I pull the cover back, and he's dead.
Police say Clark
horrible.
ran off after allegedly committing the crime.
We believe Chris Clark ran from the house to the train station.
Yeah, he got on a train.
Got
and
on
there
the
was
first
police
train available
activity.
to him, which was an eastbound train. He took the train to Spionk, then reversed course.
With the help of the MTA police, Clark was arrested at the Mastic Shirley
Luckily,
station.
they were able to catch him on the
News 12
train.
exclusively spoke with Clark's sister, Erica Quill, who picked him up from Brooklyn, where he
Those
was
police-
living, to bring him out to the island earlier in the week. She did not want her face shown on camera.
I just dropped him off. Like, I just seen him a couple of days ago. I brought him out here because he needed a ride.
Quill claims her brother had mental illness and was on drugs. She says her brother Christopher did
Shouldn't-
not have problems with his grandfather.
Shouldn't have
but did
been out on the
believe he was
streets.
a higher power, and that may have influenced this alleged crime.
Dealing with the mental issues that he had, he did call him like a demon a couple of times. Like, he was going through it. So I think he felt like, in his mind, I felt like he had to make sacrifices in his mind.
And I want peace and love for the world. I'm Jesus Christ, and I love you, my children.
According to the sister, this was not the first time he pulled a knife. He allegedly threatened their mother not that long ago while she was holding Quill's baby, and she was able to get him out of the room at that time. And
So why the hell wasn't he in an institution? This is exactly what I mean with this state. He should have been arrested, but the judges can't use dangerousness. Kathy Hochul, well, she supports this kind of stuff. She's the reason why this is happening. Because we don't have a governor that's doing anything about the crime right now. I mean, this is just an outrage.
now he is facing up to life in prison behind bars if convicted.
Now, the family's life is ruined. The grandfather is dead, and this guy, this Brooklyn man, will now spend the rest of his life in prison because the state of New York failed him, and they failed his family. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. I don't know what to say. It's just a classic example of how dysfunctional things are in New York right now. And they covered this one too. This was a Long Beach man arraigned in a March shooting. This happened in Long Beach. There's part of Long Beach that's dangerous. But this guy is
right
off the
now
streets.
with new
Because,
information
again, people in
on
Long Beach
this
do
man
have to be
who was
safe.
just arraigned in Hempstead for second-degree murder in Long Beach back in March. You can see him walking out with Long Beach police and detectives. This is Sean Tamir, and he is being accused of shooting and killing Humberto Manuel Francis Hernandez, an Uber driver from Queens. And police say the 23-year-old was in the doorway of his East Broadway apartment building when he shot the man during the overnight hours of March 19th. Hernandez sadly died in the hospital days later, and in a press conference just a short time ago, police say that they believe that Tamir got into a dispute with the Uber driver leading up to this tragic and fatal outcome. Police also say that Tamir has a long rap sheet of violence in Long Beach, including multiple violent felonies and arrests.
Again, why wasn't he in jail?
And I want to make sure that the citizens of Long Beach know that they can rest easier now that this particular man is no longer roaming our streets to cause any more harm or violence.
Yeah, he had to kill somebody to get locked up.
Police are hoping that this brings some form of closure or justice for the family of Hernandez. But for more on this, you can head to our website, news12.com.
So, there you go. And then they also covered this. King Kullen to close. That's right. King Kullen is closing 2 Long Island locations in Franklin Square and Glen Cove. And again, none of them are on the South Shore. Isn't that interesting?
Local grocery chain is checking out for good in a couple of our communities. King Kullen closing 2 of its stores. News 12's Tama Pond.
Meanwhile, they renovated Rockville Center.
And Tama, did the announcement of those closings come as a surprise to folks there?
Those people are important.
Well, Doug, a couple of people say they already heard that this store might be closing, but one person actually went and put her hand up to her mouth. She said she was shocked to hear it. One shopper tells me they've been coming to this Franklin Square location for
a very
almost
small
50
store.
years. This is one of the locations that's closing in addition to the Glen Cove location. However, the company says despite that, none of the employees here are
Now, the Glen Cove location is located right next to a Stop and Shop. Which doesn't surprise, it's too bad because that was a nice store. But the nearest supermarket to this King Kullen is a little further away. It's at least a couple of miles.
going to lose their jobs.
It's terrible. It's terrible here.
I'm sorry to hear it. I'm very sorry to hear it.
I was kind of upset because this has been forever.
The people we spoke with at this King Kullen in Franklin Square say they can hardly believe the store will be closing.
This is like a community place. Everybody shops here.
According to King Kullen, when the lease expires, this location is closing on July 14th, and they say the Glen Cove location is closing on July 28th. But according to the company, the employees from both stores will be reassigned or offered positions at other locations. They say there will be no layoffs, and that is welcome news to customers.
I'm going to miss the store, though. The people are very nice.
But for people like Pat, who come to this store because the bus stop is right in front of it, says she's going to have to figure out where to go now for her food.
If I don't want to give up eating, I got to find some place to shop, right?
That's
Lisa
difficult for people
Delapisi,
like
president
that.
of the
See,
Franklin Square
no nice
Chamber of
mini for her,
Commerce,
right?
says this King Kullen is an anchor store for this plaza, meaning people go to other stores because they're at the supermarket. She says the chamber is working to ensure that whatever is in this spot next serves the community and its needs.
So it's very important
Maybe it
to
could
us
be
who-
maybe an Uncle
as
Giuseppe
far
could go there or
who
something.
is going to occupy this spot. Depending on who's here will affect every store here.
Yeah, it is, and then more
And
stores
as
are
for
going to
what
close.
happens next here, we do not have any official word on whether another supermarket is going to take over this location. In Franklin Square, I'm Tama Paulton, News 12, Long Island.
So yeah, that's pretty sad there that King Kullen is closing. And again, more food deserts being created. And there's a rumor that the one Garden City Park might close too. And then my area is going to really be a food desert. Let's see what we got here. This guy stole 4. This is not going to get. Wall Women Mall. That happened at Wall Women Mall, of course. Wrong way driver arrested for DWI in Comac. That only gets 33 seconds. East Ford Expedition. This guy from Hicksville, of course. She was actually a woman from Hicksville. Issued multiple summonses. So you have that going on. Two-year-old boy in serious condition. All right, they did cover this. I'll give them credit. They covered this. But this was already forgotten by the afternoon. I didn't even know about this. They didn't even add this in the evening.
Serious condition after being pulled from a backyard pool in Center Reach. News 12 Long Island's Danielle Campbell is there right now with new details. Danielle.
Yeah, let's make it clear that this 2-year-old boy did not drown. However, he was rushed to Stony Brook University Hospital. He is currently listed in serious condition.
Let's
We
hope
just
he
spoke
makes
to
it.
some neighbors in the Center Reach neighborhood, and they tell us that the family is not here. They've been at the hospital all morning long.
I don't know why they didn't cover this in the evening. They should have.
And let's take a look at what happened. Here's the
middle of the
scene from
island.
last night. It was about 6:25, and Suffolk County Police tell us officers from the 6th Precinct responded to a 911 call from this home here on Barber Drive in Center Reach. A 2-year-old boy had been found unresponsive in the home's in-ground pool. Police say the 2-year-old boy, who is a relative of the home's
this happened
occupants, was
last
rushed
night.
to Stony Brook University Hospital. And as far as we know at this point, according to police, he is listed in serious condition. According to the CDC, drowning is a leading cause of death for children ages 1 to 4, and most drownings happen in home swimming pools. We have more information on that at news12.com.
He seems to be having some problems playing, but that's pretty sad. So they did a good job on some things. But then they get back to covering the usual stuff, on the South Shore. I will give them credit for this. They did cover this too yesterday, and they actually spent
Parents
3
in
minutes on this. This
Wyandanch
happened in
tonight still
Wyandanch.
angry and still demanding answers.
Hey, they're doing
after
better at
yesterday's
least. So.
accident involving a giant inflatable slide that toppled over during a school field day. News 12's Antoinette
Yeah,
Biordi
there were too
live in
many kids on the
Wyandanch
slide.
after speaking with concerned parents of children who were hurt during what was supposed to be really a celebratory
One
day.
child is still in the hospital suffering from a broken hip and collarbone. 4 others are still suffering from minor injuries. Today, we spent the day trying to get answers, but the school district still refusing to speak.
The school district is...
Can we speak to the superintendent,
See,
please?
again, the lily white areas get responsive school districts. This is what people who are in majority communities have to deal with.
Dr. Talbot is not available. She's in a meeting.
The Wyandanch School District telling News 12 that the superintendent is not conducting any interviews. But we did speak exclusively to one parent whose daughter was injured on the slide and is traumatized by what she experienced.
This shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened at all.
Robin Kirby says she was there when her 7-year-old daughter, Camille George, was playing on the inflatable slide when it suddenly deflated and toppled over, sending one
There's too many
child
people on
15
it.
feet
That's
into
what I
the
was saying.
air and other children falling on top of each other. Robin describes a chaotic scene as she was desperately trying to find her daughter.
I can't find her. Seeing the commotion going on, parents are running, teachers are running, things are happening so fast. You don't even know what to do.
Police say altogether 14 children were on the inflatable at one time. That was set up here on this tennis court at Wyandanch Park for field day. One attendant from Jump Around Party Rentals we spoke to says he set up the inflatable properly. He also says the school district didn't want to pay to hire an attendant to monitor the kids.
See?
I think that
Because
the
they don't have
school
the money.
definitely should have took that precaution and had gotten extra people. Kids' safety, money should not be an option.
A lot of kids on it, too many kids. Nobody was over there watching it.
7-year-old
Too many
Jason
people were on it.
Armstrong was on the inflatable at the time but wasn't hurt.
There's too much people in the bouncy house.
Yeah.
And then the thing fell over.
Yeah.
And some people got hurt and they went
This
to
is the
hospital.
quality of life
As for
that
Robin
the
Kirby,
people
she
white
says
have to
her
deal
daughter
with
is
on Long
complaining
Island.
of neck and ankle pain, but she's also concerned about the emotional toll this will take on her.
She's very concerned about her friend, and she said to me, "Mommy, I feel so bad about my friend. It should have been me." I said, "No, it shouldn't have been you. It shouldn't have been any of you. None of these kids should have gotten hurt the way they did."
The Consumer Product Safety Commission says that there were 12 deaths associated with inflatables between 2003 and 2013. And in
properly, they can be very
2018,
dangerous.
they estimated there would be 18,000 injuries associated with inflatables. Now, the investigation here, of course, is ongoing.
So I'll give them credit. They've been covering some stuff in the middle of the island, and I'll give them credit for that at least. All right, although they're still, So let's see. And we got this, and this happened on the South Shore, and they did not cover this. Driver charged after crashing into multiple vehicles. 29-year-old man facing charges after he drove recklessly and crashed his car into multiple vehicles. This incident happened in Nassau at 10:50 a.m. on Tuesday, June 14th. Officers responded to multiple reports of a possible drunk driver on Campbell Road and Martin Drive in Wyandanch, and then saw a 2011 Nissan Sentra involved in the crash in the northbound lanes of Wyandanch Avenue. And the driver is also from Wyandanch. Colin Cassidy was holding an aerosol can of dust-off to his nose, and then he briefly passed out. Oh, so he was on he was sniffing. Police attempted to remove Cassidy from the vehicle, but he shifted the car into reverse and started colliding with other vehicles. Officers breached one of the car's windows and arrested Cassidy. They found 3 cans of aerosol. He's charged with 3 counts of leaving the scene of an accident, reckless driving, second-degree reckless endangerment, multiple VTL infractions. And he's said to be arraigned. I bet he was let out. And he has a serious drug problem. And the state didn't do anything about that. You have a lot of people out there with drug problems not doing anything about. You know? Overdose. Speaking of drug problems, here we go. Channel 12 didn't cover this one. Long Island man has been charged in the death of a 54-year-old man. Raymond Sanabria, age 43 of Elmhurst, was arrested on Tuesday, June 14th in North Lawrence, so it's next to Inwood. Sanabria was developed as a suspect following an investigation by the police into the death of a Valley Stream man that occurred on Tuesday. Officers set up a buy with Sanabria, who arrived at a predetermined location for a sale with a substance believed to be heroin. He was arrested without incident. He will be arraigned in Hempstead. So, yeah, another crime there going on here, another arrest. But he might have been released. So it's just some of the things going on here. But let's get to the city now. Oh, wait, we got this too. Hold on. Did we get this one? I don't think we did. We saw this one. A man busted with an illegal gun. Yeah, I don't think Channel 12 covered this. A man is facing charges after he was caught legally carrying a gun on Long Island. And he's from New York City. Gabriel Seal, age 33 of the Bronx, was arrested Sunday, June 13th in Inwood. Officers spotted him just before 9 p.m. driving a Jeep Compass on Burnside Avenue when he failed to signal. So this was in Inwood. Yeah, that's next to Far Rockaway. When he failed to signal while changing lanes. After stopping him, officers discovered a loaded firearm inside the vehicle. He was barred from having the weapon due to a prior criminal charge in April. He was arrested without incident and charged with criminal possession of a weapon. And he was scheduled to be arraigned first court in Hempstead on June 13th. Let's now go to Nassau County and see what else they've got here, because they may have more here, and see if there's any more here about anything. All right. Oh, we got a missing juvenile. Let me guess. They escaped from Mercy First. Yep. After all this that happened with Mercy First, and they even said they're closing their foster care program, but they still have a bunch of other things there. The missing person squad reports the detective of a missing juvenile that occurred in Syosset on Saturday, May 28th, 2022 at 6 p.m. and reported to the police at 7:16 p.m. According to the detectives, missing juvenile Jenna Cerruti, age 15, was last seen by staff of the Mercy First facility located at 525 Convent Road. She's described as a female, black, 5'6", and 128 pounds, with brown eyes and black hair. Her clothing description and destination are unknown. Update. Okay, they have been located. This never even made the news. Unbelievable. And then we have another missing person that was also, I think, found as well. There was a missing person from Westbury, missing adult on June 12th, 2022 at 7:30 p.m. And it was reported to the police on June 12th by 8 p.m. According to detectives, Rosa Valdez, age 47, went missing, but she was fortunately found as well. Again, they didn't even cover that. All right, North. Is this the same? That's the same one. All right, we run. Let's see if this guy was released, though. Sometimes they say let's see if they were released or not. I don't know. We'll see if they were or not. All right, so this covers Long Island. Let's talk about what's going on in the city, because, yeah, I know. Speaking of the city, let's get this all for Eric Adams. I have lost all respect for Eric Adams. He is truly a piece of garbage. He endorsed Kathy Hochul in the governor's race. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. He is obviously just fake. This guy, Eric Adams, is an idiot. All right. He's an idiot. He's just an idiot. Eric Adams. Let's see. Let's see his picture on here. Eric Adams. There you go. I mean, what the hell is wrong with Eric Adams? What the hell is wrong with Eric Adams? This guy is the worst mayor of New York City. This guy's the worst. He is the worst. He is the worst. He is a joke. I miss Bill de Blasio. That's how bad this guy is. He somehow managed to be even worse than Bill de Blasio. New York City there's like no hope for New York City as long as this guy is the mayor. No hope at all. But let's talk about some of the things going on in the city because there's been more crime going on. So we got to talk about the crime in the city too. Man on motorized scooter wanted in 3 New York City armed robberies in under 40 minutes. And I guess that's the man right there. Here he goes. He's going to rob a food cart there. Right? 3 armed robberies. On Monday, June 6th. Randall Street, Barretto Avenue, East 149th Street. And they're armed. He had a gun. All right? But here's another subway crime. 16-year-old stabbed in the face while waiting for a New York City subway. Here we go again. Police are looking for 2 people that stabbed a 16-year-old in the face and neck at a Brooklyn station earlier this week. The victim was waiting for a southbound A train at the Broadway Junction station around 10:20 p.m. Sunday when cops say the duo came up to him and stabbed him multiple times. They then took off on separate A and C trains southbound. The victim is expected to survive. Updates on his, and it's not clear whether he knew his attackers or not. But yeah, another probably random attack again, because this is what happens on the subway. This is what happens on the subway. Subways are just very dangerous. It's just people are afraid to go to the city, afraid to take the subway. The city is literally going to go back. Actually, some people are saying it's even worse than the 70s and the 80s. The level of violence we're seeing. But again, don't ask Adams, don't ask Hochul. They think everything's just peachy keen. You know, it's just clueless. It's just cluelessness. But again, it's all about the South Shore. And again, if Eric Adams and if Hochul is the governor, Eric Adams is the mayor, we are screwed. The state is done. There are only going to be a few safe enclaves left, and the rest of them, the rest of us aren't going to be able to afford to live here anymore. We're going to be driven out by the crime because there's not going to be anywhere safe for us to live anymore. And this guy doesn't care. He's a traitor. What a piece of garbage this guy is. I'm telling you, what a piece of garbage. Unbelievable. Well, that's going to wrap up this video. Thank you for watching.